Okay. Now we are going to learn about dynamic system development method. What it is? Today's concept is dynamic systems development method, DSDM, right? So what it is? This is also same one of the agile framework. What it is? It is also one of the agile framework. So agile framework in the sense, so everything can be fast working, isn't it? So which method follows the principles of agile methodology? Those all methodologies are coming under a agile framework. Clear? So DSDM is also one of the agile framework that addresses the entire project life cycle and its impact on a business So by using this DSDM, first of all, okay, it will address us, which it will execute the overall project life cycle. What it will do? It will execute the total project, as well as by using this, okay, we can reach our business goals. So which purpose we are going to develop this particular project? To improve our market, to improve our business. If one client or one customer, okay, he come to us for which purpose? To develop one project. So that project, by depending on that project, he wants to improve his business, isn't it? To increase his market. So for that sake, anybody, okay, came to us, isn't it? So there are some set of business goals is there. So this kind of project development will completely concentrate on the business goals of a customer, right? If we will develop this project by using this kind of okay methodology, is it attracted by a end user or not? Okay, it is simple for end users or not? Here there are any complications are there while developing for this system? Okay, which is liked by everything, whatever we designed for this particular project, everything is liked by a customer or not? It is available for him, customer in the sense end user, it is available for him, okay, and also it is easy to work or not, and also it is support any requirement of a particular client, particular end user or not. So like that, they'll be more concentrate on a end user. Who are the end users here? End user is a last person who used this particular application, isn't it? So client and customer is, which means here the client is different. Client is the owner of that particular app. So till now we have used two words for a client, either customer or client or stakeholder. These three words are apt to a product owner, original owner. If I am asked to develop one project, okay, I am a project owner. So after developed my app, so who are going to use my app? Okay, you are the developers here. You are related to one particular organization. So I am the client here for you. So whoever ordered a project, okay, to increase my particular business, right? I have asked you to develop some learning app. Through that learning app, okay, I want to teach, okay, clearly to my students. So such kind of app I needed from you with some more requirements. So it is like one kind of Zoom. Okay, it has some advanced, okay, advanced technologies, advanced what everything is some requirements whichever I needed on that particular app. I asked you to develop such kind of apps. Okay, so what you are going to do? You are going to develop my app. Okay, so by taking some students' opinion. Okay, you are developing some app for me, that is some learning app for me. Why? Because I want to teach, I want to use that particular app to teach my students, isn't it? Here the students are the end users. I am the client to you. You are the developers. You are related to particular organization or particular company, isn't it? So I have given some set of requirements, some set of features to you to develop my app, okay, by using this kind of this list of stories or some features. So by taking consideration of those, okay, list of features of mine, and and you will take the opinion of the end users. What are the students' opinion? How the students are expecting more than this. So what are the student expectations from that particular learning app? What they want? If they receive the 100% input from a teacher, what they are expecting from online? So you should take their opinions into a consideration. You will give the most important to the end users than me. If you develop one project in such a way, this kind of project development is called a dynamic systems development methodology. Dynamic system development methodology. You are going to implement the overall project by taking some feedbacks or from, okay, um, so important things from the end users. Why you are taking some end users opinions? You are developing one project to satisfy them, to fulfill their needs, isn't it? You are going to fulfill the end users needs, so that's why you should take the consideration, you should take the consideration into their opinions. Then you started to develop such kind of project, one kind of learning app. Okay, like this, if you will develop a project, it will reach the end users easily. Automatically the users may increased. The learning gap is very, okay, interesting to learn. Okay, it is providing some what interesting facilities to a students. So automatically the students may increased, isn't it, to use such kind of learning app, isn't it? So that is one kind of business. Automatically business, learning is not learning app is not one kind of business, but if you think in such a manner, automatically the end users are increased, students are increased to use your learning app. So automatically business also increased, na, improved, na. So whatever the things you have developed into that particular project, so those are almost, okay, almost interests of a end users. Clear? So such kind of projects is called dynamic system development methods, isn't it? And if you'll see second point, DSDM is an iterative approach. What it is? It is an iterative approach, which means repeatedly it will execute some kind of phases, okay, to give some good quality on that particular project. And this framework explicitly states any project must be aligned to clearly defined strategic goals and focus upon early delivery of real benefits to the business. Why they are doing all these things means, so to deliver the real benefits to the business. Clear? So they'll execute, they'll follow some strategic goals, and at the end of the project they'll show some real benefits to the business, isn't it? And here there are some 9 principles are there in this DSDM. If we'll see the first one, active user involvements imperative. So I told you already, it's a end users are involved into this particular project development. So which means active user involvement, what the end users are expecting from this particular app or particular project. So based on that they are going to develop this project, isn't it? So that's why they'll play some active role into this particular development. We'll see the second point, DSDM teams must be empowered to make decisions. So these teams also given, okay, I mean to take their own decisions, like crystal agile methodology, isn't it? In that crystal agile methodology, the development team would have taken any kind of decision based on that particular project, isn't it? Here also, in this dynamic system development methodology also, the team members have the rights, development team members have the rights to make decisions based on the end user requirements, based on their opinions, isn't it? So that is the second point. And third, coming to the next one, the focus on frequent delivery of products. So they'll deliver the products, which means some functions frequently to show the customers. So they are also work on rapid in nature, which means fast working nature also, okay, added to this particular DSDM. Okay, they'll work within a time, within a budget, okay, and also to improve the business goals. So by taking the all the parameters into consideration, then they are started to develop this kind of project. So this is also one of the rapid work in nature, isn't it? Next one, fourth one is fitness for business purpose is the essential criterion for your acceptance of deliverables. Okay, so whatever the requirements they are asked for, so they should develop such kind of things into that particular project. After development, they'll go for a acceptance of a client or some users. So if it is so, it is fitted to that particular requirements. Okay, then they are started to develop next module or something, next functionality of that particular project. So like that, everything is accepted by end users as well as client. Like that, they'll proceed the work on a particular project. Next one is Iterative and incremental development is necessary to converge on accurate business solutions. If you want to, if you want to reach the business goals of a particular project, then you must use some iterative and incremental development natures. You should follow these two kinds of implementations in your project. Then only you will reach your business goals. So already you know we have discussed what is iterative and what is incremental models, isn't it? There is no need of explanation about these two again. I think so, right? If you while developing your project, if you'll do these two kinds of things, if you'll follow these two kinds of things, then you will reach the business goals easily. Clear? And next one is, all changes during development are reversible. If suppose any kind of changes are performed during development, they should follow some reverse techniques. If something is has been developed, if something has been developed, so if suppose it needs any changes on that particular thing or function, so automatically by applying reverse engineering technique, they'll perform the tasks. First, for one thing, while whatever we are executing or implementing, we are going from starting step 1 to step 10. As usual, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that will follow. That is a regular manner. If any kind of changes you need, so then again you start, assessing from step 10 to 1. So where you need some changes, and at that particular place you are going to include that kind of points there itself, isn't it, sir? Such kind of techniques is called a reversible techniques, right? Okay, this reverse engineering tactics also one kind of techniques. So this is one kind of analyzing or evaluating a project from back to front. Generally, whatever the process we have developed, that process will be executed from front to back. It's a general top to bottom or some general flowing method. But while if any kind of problems occur in that particular business, to solve those, so you won't go from top to bottom. You have started, okay, the persons whoever assigned you to solve those problems, those are started from reverse engineering, which means from bottom to top. Then in such a cases we will identify the errors or faults easily. Clear? So that is the one of the point in DSDM. And coming to the next one, requirements are baselined at high levels. So whatever the requirements we are developing or we are working on particular requirements, those are baselined from higher level. So they'll give some basic structures or basic natures to follow some rules and regulations. By following the rules and regulations, you should develop your project. So those are baseline from higher authorities, which means you have to follow the rules and regulations of organization, okay, sometimes, as well as some higher level officials. By following those, you should develop the requirements. Sometimes those may be deviated if the team members want to make some changes on that particular existing rules and regulations. They have the rights to change because based on some project. I told you now, if something that developers want to add, okay, or they want to some add new changes on that particular project, they'll have the rights to adapt such kind of changes, isn't it? Like crystal assigned methodology, right? Here, so like that, if the what some higher authorities are have some rules and regulations, some baselines to develop some such kind of projects. The team members may by following those things, they'll develop the project. If not, they'll take their own decisions while developing that project, isn't it? This is about the eighth point. And coming to the last point of this principles of DSDM, testing is integrated throughout the life cycle. So, testing is involved at each and every level of a particular project. So there are many kind of testings are there, unit test, acceptance test, etc. So those are involved in this kind of life cycles. Why we are going for testing? By testing only we'll get clear idea whether it is working according to a business goal or not, or it will reach the requirements, it will fulfill the requirements of a customer or not exactly. Okay, to get such kind of status we must test any product, anything. So this is about ninth rule or ninth principle of a DSDM. Clear? If we'll see the next slide, this slide has some on diagram here. What is this diagram? In the sense, it is a life cycle of, it is a life cycle of DSDM. So in this life cycle, first of all, we have, it is a 4 phases. DSDM life cycle has the four phases. First one is feasibility and business study. What is the first one? So this is the first phase of DSDM, feasibility and business study. And coming to the second phase, this is about second phase. What it is? Functional model iteration. Functional model iteration. Second one is this one, functional model and iteration. Third one, design and build iteration. What is the third one? Design and build iteration. Fourth one is about implementation. So these are the 4 phases of a DSDM life cycle. What is the feasibility and what is the business study? So why are we going to implement this particular project? Okay, so which kind of what goals are there, okay, to fulfill some business requirements? So what are the steps we have to take to develop that one, isn't it? What are the methods are suited to develop this kind of business goals? Like that, we are going for some feasibility study about a business. Here we are concentration, we are providing, we put some concentration on a end user requirements. That is about a business goals, right? So that is the first one is a feasibility study about a business. And coming to the second one, Here the second one is a functional model and iteration. In this step they are going to develop a, okay, so identify the functions, how many functions, which means features development or user stories development. So how many functions are included into this particular project? First one is about just a study, which means communication part, which means uh, coming to our classical process models. It is like requirements analysis. Okay, so it's about some communication process. First phase is the communication process. Second one is, so what are the functionals, what are the modules are available in to this particular module. So module in the sense it's just one kind of function. It will take some kind of input and it will release one kind of output. So if it will fulfill such kind of things, that is called a function, isn't it? Right. So this is a functional model iteration. In this functional model iteration, here again we are having some 4 subtasks. What are those? First one, identify function prototypes. So what are the functions you need for this particular project? What are the individual tasks you need to perform? Okay, in this particular project. So first of all, identify those. Identify those. After that, you are going to, so reviews. Okay, next one is some agree the plan. So you should write some plan for these functions. Next here, create function prototypes. After identifying that, here we are going to create the functions, individual functions. Next you are going for a reviewing a prototype. Identification, and after the identification you should plan that particular function models. Okay, after that you are going to create those function models. Okay, then review those prototypes. After reviewing everything is ready, okay, for developing this particular functions, then you are going for a next phase, that is design and building phase. So in this designing and building phase, first one, okay, identify which kind of prototypes we are going to design. Next, agree the plan. Next, create a design prototypes. After that, review a design prototypes. After performing these steps, next we are going to the implementation phase. In implementation phase, as it is, so whatever the, okay, user approvals and guidelines before going to start anything. So whether this design is approved by a user or not. So what are the guidelines to develop a code? This is coding implementation, in the sense coding session, right? After that, train the users. So how to use the something, and what are the users, we have given some inputs. After developing this project, how to use this one. So like that, see here we are going to train some users. After that, implement the code. Finally you are going to review business. If it is finished, should go for a first phase. If it is not fulfilled properly, again go for a function model. I mean, if you will show this particular reviewing is not satisfied by a higher authorities or clients or users, again you need to go and develop a functions, then design, then implementation. So like that, this cycle is repeated. It will be executed iteratively, and also here we are developing some prototypes, isn't it? So finally, if it is satisfied by all, then we'll go back here. first step, or we'll end the process. Okay, here there is some ending point is there, so we'll end this particular process. So like that, this DSDM life cycle will be worked. And coming to a next slide, we'll see some strengths and weaknesses of DSDM. Now we are going to see some strengths and weaknesses of DSDM. If we'll see the first strength, so basic product functionality can be delivered rapidly, which means the work of each and every function, okay, they'll do fastly. Rapid working nature means they'll develop the project fastly. Not only project, overall project, at least after the each and every function, after each and every module execution, they'll show that one to a clients. And developers have easy access to end users, so they'll give the accessing to a end users, they'll provide some accessing to the end users. And some third one is projects are reliably completed on time, so already we have discussed this one. Okay, they are trying to complete this project on time and within a budget itself. So these are the some strengths of a DSDM. Coming to the weaknesses, so it can represent dramatic and disruptive change in company culture. So if suppose sometimes they'll take their own decisions, the developing team will take their own decisions. So automatically, okay, it's something the culture of a company may be changed based on the decisions, isn't it? It's one of a drawback. And second one is costly to implement. Okay, they are trying to implement within a budget, but based on their decisions, dynamic decisions, it may be take more budget, okay, than they estimated here. And next one is not ideal for a small organization. It's not suitable to a small organizations. It's this kind of products. Okay, this is about DSDM.